Hal Steinbrenner, Brian Cashman, and Aaron Boone are going to meet with Juan Soto in Southern California. Now, I do have a weird feeling about this meeting, and I just find it a little weird the Yankees have to go out and meet him, and they have to go put on this performance for him.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for making us your first listen. I'm Brian McKeon. Stacy is off for the night. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Again, I'm here solo for the night. We're going to go over a million things. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to Locked On Yankees on whichever podcasting platform you prefer, and subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Like our videos and hit the bell so you're notified whenever our videos go live. On today's show, I'm going to give you a little bit of a Juan Soto update of the meeting that he had with the Mets, along with the Blue Jays meeting that he had and the Red Sox meeting. I'm going to give you an update on what the Yankees should expect out of their meeting, which is going to be later on today, Monday. And then I'll give you a little bit of an update also on the starting pitcher that's available this MLB offseason that a lot of people seem to be unaware of. So we'll get into that along with the Dave Sims hiring. A lot going on, but I want to get into Soto first. Met with the Mets over the weekend in Southern California. Supposedly it was a very productive meeting. Both sides left the meeting feeling very well, and apparently he was given a very substantial offer from the Mets. This is the only reported team that there's been an offer given for. I'm sure there was financials discussed, but there was no official offer given from the Red Sox or the Blue Jays as far as everybody else knows. And the Mets offer was apparently lucrative. This shouldn't scare or surprise any Yankee fans. This is expected. We knew Juan Soto was going to get a contract offer from the Mets. We knew it was going to be highly lucrative. They're, in all likelihood, going to be the top bidder. Me and Stacey have said this for a while. It's going to be between the Mets and the Yankees, and the Mets are going to be the top bidder. Likely what we believe is he's going to have to choose the Yankees over the Mets. And I don't think it's going to be for much less financially, but I do think it'll be for less. So we'll see how close those numbers get. Just to go over a few things that if you haven't been convinced from Soto's year last year with the Yankees that they should bring him back, I don't know how these numbers can't convince you more, but let's just go over how good Juan Soto was last year, how good he's been in his career. Last year, he had 288 in full for the year with a 419 on base percentage, 41 homers, 109 RBIs. Judge, who was his running mate in the lineup, hit 322 with a 458 on base, led the league with 58 homers and 144 RBIs. Through their age 25 seasons, Juan Soto ranks 8th in OPS plus. These are the guys that he's behind in that category: Ty Cobb, Mickey Mantle, Mike Trout, Jimmy Fox, Albert Pujols, Tris Speaker, and Rogers Hornsby. Pretty crazy start to a career, right? At 25 years old. And you got to think that if all of those guys were available at this age, I mean, you can only imagine the contract offers these guys would have got. I mean, Mike Trout signed an absurd deal, but can you imagine the deal that Ty Cobb or Mickey Mantle or, Tris Speaker's got the all-time lead in doubles would have ever received? It would have been insane. Soto's also part of a really exclusive list. He's drew at least 129 walks in 4 consecutive seasons, which is absurd. You look at the other power hitters around baseball. If you draw 100 walks in a season, you're outrageous. 129 in 4 straight years is insane. That feat is only matched by Barry Bonds, and he already has more career walks than Ichiro and Ernie Banks. Now, I know Ichiro's a tough one because Ichiro always swung the bat. But to have more career walks than Ichiro and Ernie Banks at the age of 25 is pretty absurd. So on Monday, the 18th, Hal Steinbrenner, Brian Cashman, and Aaron Boone are going to meet with Juan Soto in Southern California. Now, I do have a weird feeling about this meeting, and I just find it a little weird the Yankees have to go out and meet him, and they have to go put on this performance for him. I just kind of don't get it. He knows everything there is to know about the Yankees. What kind of show are they going to put on? What are they going to tell him that he doesn't already know about the Yankees, that he's not already aware of? I don't really understand the point of the meeting other than to say, I kind of wish these things were a little quicker in a sense where the Yankees could sit down and say, here's the offer, take it or no. And as a Yankee fan, you kind of need that because the Yankees are in a spot where they could still be good next year. They could still make a World Series run next year. They could still be a really good team. But that is all contingent on them being able to pivot if Juan Soto doesn't sign. And the longer this takes, if this goes into, dare I say, a Machado Harper situation where it lasts forever and goes on for months and they don't sign until pitchers and catchers report, then you're a little stuck because Juan Soto is going to get a type of deal where it's going to break the bank. It's going to change your luxury tax, threshold, your situation. You're not going to be able to have the luxury of signing other guys if Juan Soto, is on your team, and you're going to have the luxury of signing other guys if he's not on your team. So there's going to be a real. The Yankees need an answer. They need to know at some point. I don't know if it's going to. They're not going to be able to play it with the whole sign here kind of. They're not going to be able to do that, but we're going to have to see. Because Juan Soto is likely the top free agent player of all time at this point in history that's ever become available. At least you could debate Ohtani last year, but 25 years old, just turned 26, being this good, a future Hall of Famer. This is one of the greatest players of all time becoming available for just cash, no trade, no anything. So. We're going to see. The Yankees offer is going to be substantial. I just don't know what Hal or Cashman or Boone are going to be able to say to Juan Soto to convince him, oh, now I want to sign with the Yankees. He knows what the Yankees are about. He knows what they're offering. He knows what playing with the Yankees offers him for a career. That's nothing that he's going to hear is going to be news to him. It's just going to be competing with the Mets offer, really. Heyman pointed out, John Heyman wrote an article about what happened with the Red Sox meeting. He said that the Blue Jays, Red Sox, and Mets all made offers. Again, there's no confirmation out there that the Blue Jays and the Red Sox have actually made offers. There is a confirmation the Mets have made an offer. How the Yankees could match whatever offer. That's what Heyman's reporting. That the Yankees could match with any offer that Juan Soto's given. It's going to come down to whether Juan Soto wants to be a Yankee or not. That's it. It's going to come down to whether or not he wants to play here or not. The Yankees, you have to think the Yankees are prepared to match any offer that's thrown Juan Soto's way. They are. Whether it's the Mets offer, or the Blue Jays decide to spend a lot of money now. The Blue Jays have been involved in a multitude of deals over the last few years. They're always involved in top free agents, and they never get them to sign. So you got to think one of these years they're going to get one of them. Now, I don't picture Juan Soto signing in Toronto per se. But one of these guys is going to be a player that's going to sign there at some point. And is it Juan Soto to the Blue Jays? I doubt it. Is it Juan Soto to the Red Sox? I also doubt it. The Red Sox are a team who willingly let Mookie Betts walk out the door. So I find it really hard to believe that if you let Mookie Betts walk out the door, that all of a sudden now you're going to be in on signing Juan Soto. Would be a little crazy. All these teams that are supposedly involved in meeting, Tampa Bay wants to get a meeting with Juan Soto. There's no confirmed meeting they're going to have, but they want to have a meeting. Everybody's going to do their due diligence and meet with Juan Soto. Whether or not they sign him is going to be a whole different story. I really think it comes down to the Yankees and Mets. I do. I don't think the Dodgers are a serious offer. I think that's Scott Boras playing the market, knowing the Dodgers can't say they're not interested, so he'll leave it out there. But it feels like it's going to be an arms war between the Yankees and the Mets, and I do feel like the Yankees are going to have the lower financial offer. It's just going to come down to whether Juan Soto. I think at the money that they're both going to offer, the money's not going to matter that much unless he just desperately needs to sign the largest contract in the history of baseball, which he'll likely sign anyway. What matters now is whether he cares about his legacy. Winning a World Series in the Bronx, is it more important than winning one in Queens? Batting in front of Aaron Judge for the rest of his career. How much does that matter to him? There's something to be said about being an all-time Yankee as opposed to being an all-time player. Now, it's great to be an all-time player, and he's going to be a Hall of Famer regardless, but being an all-time Yankee means something. If he wins a championship with the Yankees, if he's batting in front of Aaron Judge for the rest of his career, that can mean a lot too. So there's a lot of different things the Yankees can offer that the Mets or most teams in baseball really can't offer because none of them are the Yankees. But financially, the Mets will beat it. And if all Juan Soto cares about is finances, if all he cares about is how much money he's going to make, I don't know if the Yankees are going to offer that the top dollar. I just think whatever offer the Yankees give, Cohen's going to want to be willing to go ahead of it. That's how badly he wants the guy. He's going to have to choose the Yankees, I think. There's still a solid chance he does. I just don't know what the Yankees are going to necessarily offer Juan Soto, what amount of information they're going to offer him that he doesn't already know. Don't forget, you subscribe to the channel, hit the like button on our videos, and hit the notifications so you know when our videos go up. You can also join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club. That link is going to be in the description. You'll get texts from us. You can text all of us questions, comments, reactions to games when it's midseason, trades, anything you want to react to. We send out lineups, roster moves, breaking news, so you don't even have to check your social media. There's a 14-day free trial. Coming up, we're going to talk about a surprising free agent that's available, and the Yankees should be in on him. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel. It's America's #1 sportsbook. Because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get the hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more all on the same page where you place all of your live bets. Now, guys, FanDuel's got everything, obviously, from futures to in-game to everything you could possibly want. But we're getting to the nitty-gritty of football season. College football is coming close to the end. The college football playoff is going to be back. You're getting everything involved. You can get baseball futures into. Champions League is getting going. NFL playoffs are starting to roll into formation. It's all happening right now, and you can bet all of it on FanDuel. Just visit FanDuel.com today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's all available on FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel. It's the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. And thanks again for making Locked On Yankees your first listen. Remember that every Friday is Fan Mail Friday. You can leave questions underneath the pinned comment on our videos Monday through Thursday, or you can join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club. You get top priority during Fan Mail Friday. The link is below in the description. So I wanted to talk about Shane Bieber. He's available from the Cleveland Guardians. It's expected the Cleveland is not going to give him a substantial offer. They really never spend money on their players, so why would they do it now? How could you not want the Yankees to be involved in Shane Bieber? How could you not want your team to be involved in Shane Bieber? The only reason is the Tommy John surgery last year. Now, Shane Bieber started 2 games last year, pitched really well in both, wound up needing Tommy John out for the entire season, going into his free agent year. Not ideal for Shane Bieber, which makes me think he might want to sign a shorter-term deal, which makes me think that he might be interested in signing a 2-year deal or a 1-year prove-it deal to prove that he still has ace-quality stuff. Now, we know Shane Bieber is an ace-quality pitcher, and it's very interesting to see what he'll be able to give. Now, if you're the Yankees, if you lose out on Sasaki and you've got, you always have pitching needs kind of, why would you not be in on Shane Bieber? Why would you not take a flyer? Remember, this is the team that took a flyer on Corey Kluber, who pitched well for them for 2 years, but they've got a serious ability to get him. And even if it's a long-term deal that people believe that he's healthy from, why would you not want them to be in on Shane Bieber? I don't understand why they wouldn't. Now, there's going to be a lot of Yankee fans out there that don't want them in on Shane Bieber. And, coming off the injury, I don't know how much a lot of people do want them being in on Shane Bieber. And I'd love to hear you guys in your comments. Obviously, you can tweet us up there on the banner _ Brian McKeon. You can tweet Stacy. You can, write comments in the YouTube comments. But do you guys want them being involved in Shane Bieber? Because it feels like he's been a very under-the-radar free agent. I feel like when you talk about all of the free agents that are available, nobody talks about Shane Bieber being available. No one. No one talks about him being one of the top-tier guys. And if Shane Bieber pitched last year on that really good Cleveland team and had a great year like he usually does, isn't there any reason to believe that Shane Bieber wouldn't have had an absurd amount of offers coming to him this offseason? So coming off the injury, and I know it's Tommy John, but what's the track record of late for pitchers coming off Tommy John surgery? It's pretty good. Most guys of late come back stronger. In fact, when's the last guy to have Tommy John surgery and not come back stronger? Who's the last guy to have Tommy John surgery and actually lose his career and never come back? They're very few and far between. Very. You don't see it a lot at all. Most guys come back stronger, throwing harder, more focused. There's potential you get that out of Shane Bieber. Now, would he want to sign a 1-year deal and play on a really good team, potentially make a run, pitch in big games, and then try to cash in? Potentially. Or he might want a longer-term deal. I'd be open to both. There's nothing medically that's proven over the last 20 years now that guys don't come back stronger from Tommy John surgery. Why wouldn't you test this? Shane Bieber's a guy who won a pitching Triple Crown. Shane Bieber's a guy who's won a Cy Young Award. I don't know why you wouldn't take the chance. Now, I think it's worth it. I think Shane Bieber is absolutely worth it. I think he's one of the better pitchers in all of the league. I just think it's worth. What's the negative if it's a 1-year deal? So he comes back and doesn't pitch well. Okay, then it's over. Let's go over his career numbers. He's got a 3.22 career ERA. In 2020, that COVID year, he went 8-1 with a 1.63 ERA. Struck out 122 batters in 77 innings. It's ace quality stuff. Not to mention, throughout majority of his career, he's stayed healthy. But you're looking at 2019, 214 innings pitched, 259 strikeouts, absurd numbers. Pitches in 34 games, goes 15-8, 3.28 ERA. Then he has the 1.63 in the shortened year, okay. But 2021, ready? 7-4 with a 3.17 ERA, 96 innings pitched, was a little hurt, 134 Ks. 2022, 13-8, 2.88 ERA, 31 starts, 200 innings on the dot, 198 strikeouts. He's pretty much a K per 9 kind of guy. Low ERAs. I don't know how you don't take a flyer out on this guy. And it's crazy that we're talking about Shane Bieber in the sense of you're going to be taking a flyer on Shane Bieber, and it's only because of the injury. But again, as I stated earlier, why would you sit in this spot? Like, what makes you assume he's not going to come back healthy? I know we keep saying this constantly when it comes to guys that are coming off Tommy John surgery. But when is the realistic last time that a guy came off Tommy John surgery and wasn't better? Or wasn't at bare minimum what he used to be? Guys don't, wind up getting Tommy John and becoming worse. It doesn't affect their long-term career anymore. It just doesn't. So I don't know why you'd sit here and think that's going to happen to Shane Bieber. If it's a multi-year deal, I guess you're a little more scared. But Shane Bieber's 29 years old. And he's a definitive ace. If it's a 1-year deal to bring him in, last year you gave Marcus Stroman a contract. You gave him a lot of money per year. And Marcus Stroman didn't make the playoff roster. Was on the roster later on in the playoffs, yes, and never appeared at a playoff game. Think about that. Nestor Cortez is making almost no money. He was pitching in big playoff games. You wouldn't want to have Shane Bieber on that roster? We can talk about what the roster looks like, what the pitching rotation looks like towards next year. But imagine a rotation where Rodon can now move down to the 3. And now you're going into opening day with Cole, Bieber, Rodon, Stroman, Cortez. Pretty good. And you can throw Schmidt in there with an awesome year. You just think about all these things and going through. You have the potential to acquire a former Cy Young winner, a former Triple Crown winner at 29 years old. It's not like he's past his prime. It's not like he's getting Tommy John at 35 years old. Guys come back stronger than ever from Tommy John surgery. I don't know why you'd expect differently out of Shane Bieber. I'm excited, and I think they should be after him. And I just what makes me feel weird is why it seems to have been unspoken about. It seems like no one's reporting on this. It seems like it's just every time you talk about the biggest free agents that are out there and available, Shane Bieber doesn't get mentioned. And I don't know why. I don't know what his projected contract is going to be. You're talking about a free agent pitcher who made $13 million in arbitration last year. Even if he takes a raise at $17 million, that's not worth the flyer for 1 year. Shane Bieber to me is worth the price of admission. And Yankee fans should know more than anyone after watching him dominate them in playoff games. Now you have a chance to acquire that guy. I don't know how you don't take the chance, especially with no one talking about it. No one's mentioning that Bieber's a free agent. That's my point. If they don't get Juan Soto, it's not the end of the world. And I think people are reacting to the Juan Soto stuff like it is the end of the world, and it's not. Obviously, you want to sign Juan Soto. That's not the point that I'm making. But there's a light at the end of the tunnel if you don't get him. There's moves that are able to be made. And Bieber's one of them. Coming up next, we're going to discuss Dave Sims, who got the WFAN radio job. He's going to be taking over for John Sterling. We'll go over his career accolades and what I think about the move. So stay tuned for that, guys. There's nothing like going to live sports, right? Basketball is getting in, seeing celebrities out in public, the sound of the court, the sound of the game, going to Ranger games is beautiful. The garden vision, right? Everything possible when you're at a live event, there's nothing better than it. Well, you can catch all of it with Game Time. And with Game Time, it's never been easier to get the best tickets to any NBA games you want. They got a new feature called Game Time Picks, which does all the hard work for you. Instead of searching through thousands of tickets, Game Time Picks filters out the fluff and shows you only the absolute best deals on great seats. And if that wasn't enough for you, I got an all-in pricing feature now. Just toggle it on, and it shows you the full price up front with no surprises at checkout. You also get seat views. So if you've never been to a venue, you can see a panoramic view of your seat in the app so you can decide exactly where you want to sit. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and use code LOCKEDONMLB. That's LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. So, guys, it was announced earlier at the end of last week that Dave Sims, the former, voice now of the Seattle Mariners, is going to be taking over the Yankee job for John Sterling. Of course, John Sterling finished off the postseason for the Yankees, finished off his career in an illustrious long career in sports radio and sports radio broadcasting. He will go into retirement. Emmanuel Berbari and Justin Shackle did the WFAN broadcast last year on the radio. And now it'll be Dave Sims. He's 71 years old. He's been calling the Mariners games as the play-by-play voice for them for the last 17 years. You guys probably know him a little better for doing Big East basketball. He's been doing that for a while for FS1. You can hear him all over the Big East tournament. His signature home run call is bye-bye. So if you guys were used to John Sterling's just plentiful amount of call, I don't know what his signature call is because there's so many of the rhymes and the riddles that John Sterling would throw at you. So you're gonna get all of that. A legendary professional broadcaster really can't complain about the hire. You really can't. Dave Sims has accomplished everything imaginable in this industry, and it really is a professional, really good hire out of the Yankees. Dave Sims, just a little bit of a background for you. He'll now be again doing Yankee games on WFAN. He started out doing overnights on WNBC Sports Radio, which is the precursor to WFAN. That was what was on before WFAN. It was allowing the first really radio program that was overnight that allowed people to call in to sports radio and allow people to have conversation on the radio about sports radio. That really wasn't a thing prior. So Dave Sims hosted overnights doing that back in the day. That became WFAN, and then he hosted on WFAN. He called Knick games. He's called the Big East forever. He was on middays on WFAN back in the day. He's really done everything. And again, you probably know him now from doing the Big East on FS1. He's been doing that for the longest time. Really not, you can see all the calls online. If you go through your Instagram Reels or Facebook or YouTube, you can find all of Dave Sims' most famous calls. And Dave Sims has called some really big moments in Mariners history, some really big games, some big walk-offs. He's got a flair for the dramatic, and he knows how to signify the moment, right? He knows how to play up the moment. So it's a good hire for the Yankees. It is. I'm surprised they went with an older guy at 71 years old, but it's a dream job for him. He's from the area. His wife, apparently they have a house in New York, and they spend their winters in New York because they want to spend time in New York and Seattle. So even though he works in Seattle, he's worked in Seattle the last 17 years. Now he gets to move to New York full time. It's obviously a dream job for him to be calling the Yankee games. So he's very excited about that. So congratulations to Dave Sims. We hope to talk to him at some point. We're going to try our best to get him on. We will have Emmanuel on at some point in the offseason when we start doing our interview series. He will join us. And he'll discuss that. Emmanuel is actually really not doing games for FS1, where Dave Sims is also. So you can hear Emmanuel on those broadcasts. I'm sure he'll still stay involved in the Yankees. We'll find out all of what his, future entails, I guess, if you want to say, going forward. So, congratulations to Dave Sims, a good hire for the Yankees, professional hire for the Yankees. And he's going to be working with Susan, who he's known for a very long time. Dave Sims apparently has an active texting relationship with Susan. They're very good friends. They've known each other for a while. They text each other all the time. So that's really good too. There'll be some rapport. She'll be very comfortable with it. It's a good hire. Really can't complain. So things went over in the show earlier today, obviously, to the Juan Soto meetings. It's really getting into action now. There's been a couple of reports that have come out of late that Juan Soto could be expected to sign a little earlier in free agency as opposed to later. That would help any team he wants to go to. And I think if he wants to sign earlier, it would prove his dedication to winning. I wanted to mention that earlier. If Juan Soto is truly dedicated to winning, and he does claim that one of his reasons for where he wants to sign has to do with winning. Well, if that's a big deal to him, then where he signs and how quickly he signs is going to mean a lot. Now, the Mets are one of those teams, for example, that has a ton of money to spend this offseason. And if the Mets want to make more moves and be able to create a consistent winner for Juan Soto, they're going to have Juan Soto, be signed early on so they can determine how they're going to make other moves to fix their roster. Same with the Yankees. It's more important for the Yankees to sign Juan Soto or not sign Juan Soto and then know how they can adjust the rest of their offseason. I think the Mets have a little more financial flexibility where they'll go sign guys no matter what. The Yankees, are either going to sign Juan Soto and be very minimalistic everywhere else, or not sign Juan Soto and then probably go crazy everywhere else. But they need to know the answer to that. And if Juan Soto signs earlier in free agency, that's a good sign. I think if you want an answer on how often he'll sign, look to the rest of the market. If guys start moving and signing a little earlier, that'll tell you that Juan Soto is not expected to sign for a while. However, if Juan Soto is expected to sign within the next few days, few hours inside MLB circles, I can guarantee you that the players around the rest of the league are not going to sign. They're going to wait for him to get his money, and then they're going to let him drive up the price tag on other players. Because you got to remember, right? The Yankees very well may be in on the Christian Walker sweepstakes. He's connected to a lot of them in the rumors. They could definitely be interested in him. All right, great. They need a first baseman. He fits the Yankees very well. I have no problem with that signing. I would love it. I would love for them to bring him in. If the Yankees get Juan Soto, $50 million a year, likely Christian Walker is not an option for them anymore at $25 million or whatever Christian Walker is going to get. He's not an option for them anymore. The Yankees don't get Juan Soto. Guess whose price tag just went up? Christian Walker's. Because now they know that the Yankees need to make a move. And if they need to make a move and they don't have a first baseman, their price tag is going to go up, especially knowing the Yankees want a piece of him. So if Christian Walker and his camp has the inkling Juan Soto is going to sign quickly, you'll see no one sign. No one's going to move. If they all know that Juan Soto is not going to go until later on into the offseason and he's going to sign sometime in February or March, they'll start signing quickly. So again, if you have a quick-ish free agency period and guys start, falling off, that means Soto's coming. It's going to be interesting offseason. It really is. And I think for the Mets and Yankees, it varies differently. I think the Mets have a lot more flexibility to make other moves, and they will spend. The Yankees, I think it's Juan Soto or spend crazy in other places. And again, I don't think they're going to have the highest offer. I think it'll be the Mets. What's really going to come down to is he going to be willing to pick the Yankees directly over the Mets? I mean, there's a lot of evidence that he might. I think going to the World Series with the Yankees is a good reason why he might. But it's tough. Yankees don't often lose out on these big-time players either. So, we're going to see. Thank you for making Locked On Yankees your first listen today. For your second listen, make sure that you find Locked On MLB. It's got baseball guru Sully, who brings a daily blend of humor in baseball, keeping you updated on every rumor and story throughout the offseason. You can find Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcast. We'll be with you for the rest of the week. At the end of the week, I'll be coming to you live from Indianapolis, so that'll be fun. That'll do it for this edition of Locked On Yankees. I'm your host, Brian McKeon. Stacey will be back tomorrow, where we'll see you for Locked On Yankees.